Controversial social media influencer Andrew Tate has been arrested in Romania.
Faced human trafficking and sexual abuse charges in Romania.
You get to a certain level of fame, you either put on a dress or you go to jail, and I'm happy to make my choice, which is jail every single time. My soul is not for sale, neither are my principles.
Andrew Tate's now ex-girlfriend, Bree Stern, says when they met up in the U.S., it allegedly took a violent turn, and she's now taking legal action.
I was scared to death. I loved this person, and I thought, oh my God, my life is flashing before my eyes. I was completely terrified.
Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for money?
Absolutely not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
In a world driven by power, wealth, and dominance, one man claimed he had the formula for it all. For $49 a month, he promised mentorship, brotherhood, and a fast track to success. But behind the women, the supercars, and the top G persona was a carefully engineered machine fueled by desperation, built on illusion, and shaped like a pyramid. This is the empire Andrew Tate created, and the deception that threatens to tear it all apart. Before the fame, the fortune, and the controversy, Andrew Tate was just a hungry kid from a fractured family. Born in Washington, D.C. in 1986 and raised in the UK by a single mother, his rise to power was anything but ordinary. His father, a chess prodigy, left behind more mind games than memories. Andrew and his brother Tristan grew up with little money, little stability, and a growing obsession to never feel powerless again. In the ring, Andrew found something he could control. Ruthlessness became his currency. A four-time world kickboxing champion, he was sharp, calculated, and cold. But championship belts didn't pay the bills, and the spotlight didn't last. Fame faded. Attention became his new addiction. In 2016, Tate stepped into the reality show Big Brother UK, but just days after entering the house, he was pulled out. The reason? A video surfaced showing him hitting a woman with a belt. Tate insisted it was consensual. The public wasn't convinced. Headlines exploded. The network cut ties.
Did I say the word listen? Did I say the word listen? You stupid bitch. I didn't say the word listen. Did I say listen? Did I say listen? No. Look at the camera. Did I say listen?
It could have ended there. For most, it would have. But not for Andrew Tate. He was just getting started. The ring had taught him discipline. The internet offered something more. Scale. Tate didn't simply go viral, he engineered himself into virality, an algorithmic avatar of masculinity, money, and menace. In a world numbed by passivity, he radiated force, and the internet rewarded it. The louder he got, the more the algorithm amplified him. The more outrageous the claim, the faster it spread. He called it truth. Critics called it misogyny. But either way, it worked. Tate's true genius wasn't just in the shock value, it was in his positioning. He crowned himself the anti-hero for a lost generation of young men, disillusioned, directionless, and desperate for meaning. He offered them clarity through chaos, confidence through controversy, and above all, a mission. Then came the conversion play, Hustlers University. A private community, a brotherhood, an escape hatch from the 9-to-5 grind. The promise was simple. Learn the secrets of online wealth, dropshipping, crypto, copywriting. Become rich, become feared, become free. But this wasn't just e-learning. It was identity, a brotherhood, a war against mediocrity. He told them the world was rigged against them, that no one was coming to save them, that he, Andrew Tate, was the only answer. And thousands believed him. Loyalty was gamified. Bring in a new recruit, get paid, share his message, earn more. The louder you shouted, the richer you got. It wasn't mentorship. It was a content engine disguised as salvation, a movement built to replicate itself. Within months, Hustlers University exploded. 100,000 members, tens of millions in revenue. But Tate wasn't selling courses. He was selling conviction. And he didn't need ads. He had an army. It spread like wildfire. And that was the plan all along. Tate didn't chase the algorithm. He weaponized it.
Complete psyop garbage. Our school is very successful, and I don't really have to pitch it or sell it anymore because the world is almost selling it for me. There's very little alternative to what we offer. If you're serious about making money online, you sign up at university.com because it's one of the only options outside of gambling. The only other way to make money online is to take money and risk money, which is meme coins, crypto, etc. You can gamble your money, or you can gamble your time. And if you don't have very much money, you should gamble your time instead. If you're already sitting on millions and you want to gamble your money to make more money, that's fine. Everyone does it. I do it. We all have stocks and shares and bonds and crypto. That's what you're doing. But if you don't have any money, then you need to gamble your time. And for $49 a month, you can make a time investment, and then you can get money from university.com.
But when your mission is to dominate the system eventually pushes back. You can't silence a storm, but they tried. As his influence skyrocketed, so did the backlash. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. One by one, the platforms shut him down. They labeled him dangerous, misogynistic, a threat to young minds. But censorship didn't kill his message. It amplified it. Every ban became a badge. Every headline, more proof. To his followers, this wasn't cancellation. It was confirmation. The Matrix is real, and Andrew Tate was the man brave enough to fight it. He didn't retreat. He evolved. Hustlers University became the real world. Public platforms were traded for private servers, encrypted channels, and members-only spaces. No more algorithms. No more gatekeepers. No more rules. Now, he was untouchable. But that kind of freedom comes at a price. More secrecy, more surveillance, and more pressure to fall in line or disappear. At the highest tier sat the War Room, a so-called elite brotherhood. $8,000 bought you access. But what it really bought was allegiance. Inside, there were rules, hierarchies, silence. What started as mentorship began to look more like indoctrination. The deeper you went, the more you had to surrender. Loyalty, belief, identity. Submission wasn't optional, it was currency. Members sacrificed friendships, relationships, even their sense of self. Freedom was the promise. But control was the product. And just when the empire seemed untouchable, the cracks began to show. Then came Romania. From digital kingpin to criminal suspect, the world asked one question: what really happened in Romania? Before the storm, there was a surge. By late 2022, Andrew Tate was everywhere, banned from the platforms, but more viral than ever. Clips flooded the internet, not by brands, but by believers. Anonymous accounts, teenage fans, young men who saw a role model in the chaos. Hustlers University had evolved into the real world, and it was thriving. Over 100,000 active members. Estimated monthly revenue, $5 million. But this wasn't just about teaching wealth anymore. Tate was monetizing ideology, a self-replicating system where power, loyalty, and content all fed the same funnel. And from his compound in Romania, he launched Phase 2, an offline brotherhood, retreats in the mountains, armored vehicles, loyalty missions. This wasn't just business, it was ritual. And the deeper it went, the more it looked like something far beyond a brand. To his followers, he was a savior, a symbol of resistance, a king in exile. To the media, he was something else entirely. A digital contagion infecting the minds of millions, and Tate warned them. They're coming for me. They always do. Then, in December 2022, they did. Romanian authorities made their move. Andrew Tate and his brother were arrested. Charges, human trafficking, rape, and organized crime. What began as viral outrage had now crossed into real-world consequence. The internet's loudest voice, handcuffed, silent, a walk through flashing cameras, stripped of control. The empire didn't just pause, it cracked. The man who taught millions how to escape the system was now trapped inside it. Was this justice, a takedown, or exactly what he had predicted, a Matrix move to silence a threat? As court dates loomed, speculation spiraled. Leaked messages, audio files, surveillance footage, ex-girlfriends speaking out, followers choosing sides. The line between villain and victim was blurring fast.
Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for money?
Absolutely not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
No. We have an open criminal investigation. I am absolutely and utterly sure I'll be found innocent. I know the case better than you. I know it intimately and you don't. I have seen all the criminal files and the evidence against me and you haven't. I know the truth of what happened and you don't. And I'm telling you absolutely and utterly, I've never hurt anybody, that the case that's been put against me is completely and utterly fabricated.
She's making the point that there is
Has she accused me of a crime?
Emotional or psychological manipulation.
I've asked you a question and I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you a question.
Correct, but you're not the boss here because I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you the questions.
Correctly, and I'm telling you.
So there's other places in that same website where you say you get girls to fall in love with you and they do it because they love you, because they want to do what you say. Convincing women to take part in some kind of business arrangement doesn't work long term because they're emotional. You've got to get them to fall in love with you. That's coercion, that's emotional manipulation, that's abuse.
What you've found are clips from the internet, some text from the internet, and you're going to sit here and tell me that that's the reason I should...
Your website, your words.
It's not my website.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Check my website.
For the first time, the myth of Andrew Tate began to fracture, not because of algorithms, not because of bans, but because of law. And this time, virality couldn't save him. From digital mastermind to criminal suspect, the world watched every frame. Was this the downfall of the top G, or just his next transformation? A prison cell couldn't silence him for long. After 92 days in Romanian detention, Andrew Tate was released. Not free, but watched. Confined to house arrest, monitored, surveilled. And yet, even that became part of the brand. The cage became the content, and the myth adapted.
Give respect, firstly, to the judges who heard us today, because they were very attentive and they listened to us and they let us free, so I have to give absolute respect to them. I have no resentment in my heart for the country of Romania or for anybody else. I just believe in the truth. There is 0% chance of me being found guilty of something I have not done. I maintain my absolute innocence, and I think most people understand this, and I look forward to...
The arrest made him a villain to many, but to others it made him a martyr. His silence was louder than most people's noise, and when he finally spoke, the world listened. No apologies, no softening. Just more chess metaphors, more talk of war, more fire. The brand didn't break, it evolved. While prosecutors built a case, Tate built a stronger funnel. More secrecy, fewer leaks, higher prices. This wasn't a retreat. It was consolidation. Less visibility, more control. Fewer followers, but more believers. And once again, it worked. Membership surged. Global interest exploded. Major podcasters defended him. Influencers praised him. Even some politicians took his side. The controversy didn't kill the brand, it fortified it. He became more than a brand. He became a symbol of defiance, not just against platforms, but against governments. Inside the war room, loyalty was purified. No critics remained, only disciples. Then came the Tales of Juan, half memoir, half scripture. To some, it read like prophecy. To others, propaganda dressed as enlightenment. And while the world debated, the machine never stopped. Inside his Romanian compound, content flowed non-stop. Long-form interviews, rapid-fire shorts, war room documentaries, all produced in-house, all under his control. He no longer needed the media. He was the media, a closed circuit of content, power, and ideology. But outside the walls, pressure was building. Behind closed doors, prosecutors gathered evidence. Ex-girlfriends stepped forward. Whistleblowers leaked internal chats. The storm was circling again.
In the beginning, everything was great. He was warm, loving, even talked about how much he respected women. You know, I guess over time, things slowly started to get a bit darker. It was difficult, and you know, it's something that is still difficult. When you love someone, I think as a woman, you want to stay with them, and it's kind of innate to our nature, but it definitely causes conflicting feelings. And over time, I'm slowly starting to see, I guess, reality. I was scared to death. I loved this person, and I thought, oh my God, my life is flashing before my eyes. I was completely terrified.
The charges were no longer abstract. Leaked voice notes, wire transfers, surveillance reports. What was once internet speculation had turned into something harder, evidence. Pieces of a puzzle prosecutors were assembling, bit by bit. The myth was bleeding into reality, and reality doesn't play by algorithm.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. How much you hated it. Why am I like that? Why? I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet. Sometimes you forget exactly how lucky you were to get Would you rather me pin you down and make you do things you didn't like, or would you rather you didn't like that I was thinking I can do whatever I want to? That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't ass out. Chill the out. Jesus Christ, I thought you were cool. What's wrong with you?
And yet, to his followers, the pressure only proved one thing. The top G was too powerful to be allowed to exist. The attacks weren't signs of guilt. They were proof of persecution. Tate's messaging shifted. No longer just masculine bravado, but something deeper, more spiritual. I fear only God, he said. I've already died and come back. He no longer framed himself as a businessman, but as a martyr. A chosen warrior in a spiritual war. This wasn't a course anymore. It was a doctrine, a theology of defiance. But while his legend grew, so did the pressure. Authorities across multiple countries reopened investigations. Networks were scrutinized. Extradition rumors spread like wildfire. Each live stream, each cryptic tweet, each quote, dissected not only by fans, but by prosecutors. Still, he adapted. He evolved, he endured, and for his followers, every court date, every delay, every whisper only fed the myth. This wasn't just a comeback. It wasn't a comeback. It was a transformation, from influencer to insurgent, from mentor to myth. He wasn't rebuilding, he was transcending. But how far can someone evolve before they vanish? The world watched and waited, but the storm didn't end. It simply changed shape. Andrew Tate remained under house arrest, yet his image, his presence, stretched across screens worldwide. Not through media tours or interviews, but through mythology. In detention, his following exploded. Millions more on X, on Telegram, in underground forums. Restrictions only amplified his reach. Fan pages multiplied. Clips subtitled in over 15 languages. His words now traveled further without him. The more the mainstream shut its gates, the more his message scattered into the shadows. A digital diaspora. He no longer needed to be present to stay present. His content, clipped, duplicated, translated, took on a life of its own. This wasn't just a brand anymore. It was a decentralized belief system, draped in wealth, confidence, and rebellion. But behind the screens, the man remained, waiting, facing trial, confronting the very machine he once claimed to expose. Was this the Matrix finally striking back? Or justice closing in? A smear campaign? Or accountability long overdue? His team published essays, denials, counterclaims, legal defenses. His fans posted prayers. His enemies posted memes. In private, Tate whispered about retirement. In public, he promised revolution. His message shifted. Legacy, brotherhood, faith. He began shaping a new identity. The philosopher warrior. A man who once taught money, now preaching transcendence. And as the war room marched on and the real world restructured, Tate stepped back. No longer just the face of the movement, but its mind. Whether you believed him or not, one thing was undeniable. He had already changed the game. He tapped into a market no one saw coming. Millions of disconnected young men starving for identity, purpose, power. He sold them ambition, wrapped in dominance. He sold them truth, filtered through paranoia. To his followers, he was the antidote to a broken society. To his critics, the poison. Was he a leader or a mirror? A prophet or a salesman? A disruptor or a manipulator? His influence outlived the product, outlived the platform, maybe even the man himself. But the empire he built was never truly stable. And even his most loyal followers knew, if Tate vanished tomorrow, the pyramid might not stand. It might crumble. Because without the face, without the fire, without the fear, what remains? Now, the question isn't what he did. It's what happens next. What happens when the man fades, but the message stays behind? Will the world forget? Or was this only chapter 1 of something darker? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most didn't get rich from the hustler mindset or crypto blueprints. The freelance playbooks rarely delivered. The average Hustlers University member didn't break free. They just bought in. There were no mass profits, no passive income, no life-changing breakthroughs. Just endlessly recycled promises. And the money that did move, it flowed through affiliate links, recurring payments, and perfectly engineered upsells. This wasn't education, it was architecture, a system designed to enrich the top 1% while selling dreams to the bottom 99. So was it mentorship or manipulation? A movement or a pyramid? In the end, we're left with one final question. Is Andrew Tate really who we think he is, or just who we needed him to be?